Deep within the heart of the desert, a secluded village of sand people are burdened with the task most difficult once a year, finding someone willing to repaint the seal at Hollow Iron, the resting grounds of a colossal body of empty armor enchanted by a dark spirit. The last known person to have resealed the armor went missing a full year ago. Even the bravest warriors worry of scaling the medieval tomb by themselves in fear of the same fate. The Sand People have offered a reward for anyone valiant enough to complete this task, but no need to worry. A young girl with tan skin, maroon hair, and large horns on her head volunteered herself the second the opportunity rose. This young girl, Null, is one of the bravest warriors the desert has to offer. Between her giant hammer, mechanical arm, and her loyal, sand-formed companion Sar, a giant fox, she stands as an indomitable force, not to be underestimated. Null embarks on a relentless pursuit of Hollow Iron, a journey spanning several days. Mounted atop her loyal sand fox, she scours the expanse in search of any trace leading to her destination. The heat would likely kill the average person after only a day or two, but not Null. The desert is her realm. The searing sun warms her face, while the gentle rumble of Sar's purr beneath her comforts her. However, that soothing sound abruptly ceases when they reach the edge of the canyon. In the canyon valley below them, it lies, the lifeless Hollow Iron. Harboring an enchanted spirit within, this medieval-looking armor bore the scars of time. Its exterior is weathered and aged, draped in an unforgiving patina, a testament to the years spent battling the relentless sands. Massive rattling chains extended from its outstretched arms, tethered by stone, while its legs bent at the knee, leaving this colossal, metallic being buried waist deep in the shifting sands. Its helmet hung low, unable to move. Null is dismounted onto solid ground as they approach, when Sar deforms into tiny grains of sand that become one with the desert. The armor towers before her, easily being 60 times her height, but Null takes a closer look. She places her hand on the cold hull and begins to sense the spirit within. She extends her hand to touch the armor's cold surface, and a peculiar sensation washes over her. She could sense the presence of the spirit contained within. The spirit didn't cry out for help, nor did it scream in terror. Instead, it emitted a mournful sign of anguish. This revelation caught Null by surprise. The Sand People had warned her that the spirit was evil, needing to be forever imprisoned. But she felt something different. Removing her hand from the armor, she took a moment to collect herself. Once reaching the top of the armor, she makes her way near the back of the neck, where she can see the faded outline of an old seal coming to view, accompanied by the name Alexander engraved just above it. She opens up her side bag and pulls out a canister of spirit paint, known for its ability to reseal a spirit in whatever prison it resides. Null cracks open the can, but can't bring herself to draw anything. Her flesh hand rested on one side of the seal, and her mechanical hand on the other, creating a bridge between herself and the armor. In this intimate connection, she can sense the spirit's sorrowful energy. Null begins to spontaneously tear up as she can feel the spirit's innocent nature and feels for its wrongful imprisonment. She tosses away her spirit paint and watches it descend hundreds of feet down to the ground. She then spits on the armor and uses her hand to rub away what remained of the previous seal. She feels a sense of joy, having liberated this being. But no matter how noble her intentions, Null had unknowingly set in motion a series of events that proved to be irreversible. The spirit begins to manifest as a physical being from inside the armored shell as a humanoid entity. The spirit tightened and quivered under the immense torque of its newfound strength. After enough struggling, the spirit is able to break free of the chains that previously binded it. As the armor began to rise, Null watched in awe as the sand washed away from its form, revealing a pristine, unblemished coat of shining iron, devoid of any imperfections. However, as the spirit stood upright, it inadvertently sent Null tumbling backward, as she found herself in a sudden downward spiral. Noel whistles her fingers to call for Sar, who materialized out of the surrounding sand to break her fall. Noel then realizes what she had done. It was only now, with physical separation from the armor, that she had realized the full scope of the spirit's influence. The worn seal had allowed the spirit within to transcend its confinement, manipulating her and compelling her to fully release it. Noel had been powerless to resist, unknowingly aiding the spirit in its escape. The spirit lifts a colossal-sized hammer that was buried beneath the layers of hot desert sand. Noel knows she can't abandon her mission. The trust of the people who depended on her for protection weighed heavily on her shoulders, and she had been careless in defending them. She still has a chance to save them, and she will not let it go to waste. She begins to walk toward the spirit and attack head-on. Noel wields her hammer and begins to speed up her pace. Now both Noel and the spirit are charging towards each other with their hammers. As their hammers collide, they unleash a devastating clash, causing both to shatter into countless insurmountable pieces. She looks at the rubble of what was once her beloved weapon. Her eyes have turned red, and now she's angry. She begins her climb up the top of the armor again. This time, the spirit tries to fight back, but is too slow for her. Once she reaches the top, she takes a small pause to ponder her next move. But after a brief consideration, she realizes that what she's about to do is her only way out. She gathers up the courage to rip off one of her own horns from her head. With her horn in hand, she prepared herself for a daring leap. As she vaulted into the air, she gripped the horn tightly, driving it like a makeshift dagger into the heart of the armor seal, like a knife through a sail, ripping it down its spine. While the spirit was stopped, the hold down the back forces the entity to come flooding into the skies, but the spirit wasn't losing, it was letting her win. Noel watches the sky turn purple and gray, a dark rush of energy. And then it happens. The sheer energy of the spirit escaping causes the armor to explode and launch pieces of enchanted armor across the desert while the rest are destroyed. Amidst the aftermath, Noel found herself overwhelmed by a profound sense of shame. She had been entrusted with the solemn task of refortifying the seal, but the very entities she had sought to contain had swayed her with its allure, leading to the destruction of the armor. Overwhelmed by her own failure, she sank into the shifting sands, collapsing to the ground. Sar then solidifies out of the sand once more and brushes up next to her and begins to purr. Noel then dries up her tears and says, "Come on, Sar. As long as there's still pieces of that enchanted armor out there, I have a job to do. Besides, it was time for a new hammer anyway."